The right wing's response to Kanye West's appearance on Alex Jones and subsequent posts and just absolute Nazi explosion has been disturbing, to say the least. And what I mean by that is even people like Tim Pool, who purport to be, I'm in the middle, I'm a centrist, but I only perpetuate right-wing talking points, isn't willing to frame this conversation in the way that it should be framed. And so let me remind you the types of things that Kanye was saying during this interview.
Loud that this person ever did anything good, and I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler.
You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also.
All right, right. So you get the point. He didn't, as crazy as it sounds, he didn't like the fact that Alex Jones was trying to distance Kanye from Hitler and needed the world to know, whoa, 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 don't be shaming Hitler like that, is the point that he wanted to make, which is so disturbing. Now, to give you kind of the context for how Tim Pool factors into this, Tim Pool, before this interview with Alex Jones, also wanted to get a bite out of the Kanye apple and brought him on the show, and it ended with this.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you. I think.
Who was they, though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
It is
about
them, though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about,
Did you hear that? Tim Pool goes, I'm a little coward, I'm a little coward, I'm a little coward, I'm a little coward. And also, I don't use the word that you might use. What? Let's watch that beginning again. What he's saying is, yeah, the media, I just don't say Jewish. It's crazy. Take a look at this again.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you. I think.
Who was they, though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use.
The way that you don't use the word because it's incorrect to say that there's a Jewish conspiracy trying to go after Kanye West. So that was the first, not the first indication that Tim Pool's a coward, but in this context, just truly despicable. And then he brings on this right-wing guy who had harassed AOC. Can't even remember the guy's name, but and this was the conversation they had.
Instead of him speaking about it, he needs to be using his best methodology, which would be music, to get his point across. So he's not doing that. So he's just being, it's a waste of talent. But in Saul's, in Saul Alinsky,
We'll continue, but so the issue is not the point he's trying to get across, but the strategy he's using it to most effectively get it across. Your issue is with him not being able to make his point as good as he could. Very strange.
these rules for radical, it's like you accuse the people of what you're actually doing. So he's not being nuanced. He's not being smart. He's just being like, Hitler, quote unquote, in a video game, I don't want to get in trouble, but he's saying, Kanye West, I don't want them to edit this, is saying Hitler is, not a bad person. So that is what Kanye West is saying, and that is just nobody is ever going to jive with that under any circumstance.
So I think it was really good that Alex Jones had them on, because look at what we got to see. Everybody can make up their mind about exactly what happened.
That type of wording, what do you make up your mind about what happened? Why don't you grow some you-know-what and speak out against the person celebrating the leader that directed the slaughtering of 6 million Jewish people? How about you speak out against that in the way that it warrants, instead of going, it happened and it was good, and I don't necessarily agree with everything he's saying, but make up your own mind because it's
And
that is
I believe this is a strong argument for free speech. If Alex was censored and they were and they were just hanging out in his living room saying all this stuff, nobody would have any idea what Ye believed and what Ye was working on or working towards, or who he was associating with. You might like who he's whatever. He's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to being a human and believing what he wants to believe.
Agreed. And we are also entitled to speak out against him, which you're not doing in a way that is correct. What's so strange is many of these, I guess you would call them free speech warriors, even though they're not. The second that it's their opposition who's getting censored, they're happy with it. They just don't like it when it's them. We understand the unprincipled nature of many of these people, but one of the things they'll do is, if they don't want to heavily condemn an individual, they'll have a more meta conversation so they don't have to get into the specifics. So instead it'll be, well, you know, I think in general it's good for people to share their views and he's entitled to his views and you can make up your own mind about his views based on your views. How about you talk about specifically what he talked about and say the words that are justifying this situation, which is Kanye West is a vile Nazi who is trying to wash over the reality of the Holocaust and joining the calls of doubting what actually happened during World War II and saying that Hitler's actually an especially valuable person and I respect a lot of what he did and all. That's what Kanye is saying. And all of these vile things, we should use our free speech ability to completely and unequivocally speak out against that. Not all of our time saying, but I really think that you can make up your own mind and how la-di-la-di-la. Because obviously people can make up their own mind. We know that. We're curious about what you have to say about this. And then just more kind of coverage I saw from Tim Pool on this subject.
I think it is good that Alex Jones found a way to have these people on to show their views. Alex Jones outright rejecting them, saying he doesn't agree. He doesn't like Nazis, and Ye's going off saying he does. Ye wants to run for president. We shouldn't hide or whitewash what his views are. If some people like what he's saying, fine. Then it's good they get to hear it, right? And I think what's happening now is across the media, they're reporting on exactly what he's saying. So fair. That could have been on Timcast. The only reason it couldn't is because we do a conversation show, not an interview. Surprisingly, though, Alex Jones is pushing back on Ye way more than I did, and Ye is totally fine with it. I'm getting pushback from the left saying we shouldn't have.
So he's bitter that Alex Jones pushed back against Kanye West and Kanye West didn't storm out. But, and sorry, I got so distracted talking about the dumb thing Tim Pool said at the beginning. At the end of the clip that we started this segment with, Kanye just left, stormed out. And so Timcast was really offended by that, saying, I was just pushing back a little bit. And that's his takeaway. Not, wow, he stormed out because I had the gall to not specifically be as anti-Semitic as him, but kind of give him a winky, winky, winky. Last example of this just disturbing right-wing response. A guy by the name of Vincent James was responding to Anna Kasparian over at the Young Turks on this subject, and she's nailing it, just saying all of the correct things. And watch what his takeaway is about this whole ordeal.
I mean, they're parading around literally a mentally ill person who is spewing the most vicious anti-Semitic garbage about a man who slaughtered millions of people, slaughtered them. That's what he said. He said that he liked him. He did some great things. What did he do that was so great? I can't with these people.
What's worse, one person slaughtering millions of people, or a group of people slaughtering Jesus Christ?
What? Who? What? I don't know what.
How does your brain get to that?
Broken, disgusting worm has to be living in your brain for you to believe that or to say that. Who's even bringing up Jesus in this conversation? Well, why is that even a comparison that you felt the need to make? How about let's not kill millions of people, and if you believe in Jesus, let's not kill Jesus either.
Yes.
It's so strange, but it's every single thing they can possibly muster to not fully condemn the things that Kanye West, Nick Fuentes, and all these people spew, and it scares me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.